Will the Chicago Bears try and take another piece away from the Carolina Panthers as they look to interview Thomas Brown, the halfway through the season OC of the Carolina Panthers? We'll talk about all that and more and what he brings to the team on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Daily. Let's go. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. The only channel to talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure you get in tune with us, man. Stop playing with us. I need y'all to hit that subscribe button, man. We have gotten it all the way back to the point where we're back at 50 subscribed, 50 not subscribed. It's not an indictment of you guys. It's literally just our subscribers have exploded. So we appreciate everybody who's been showing love to the channel. Now, the conversation of Thomas Brown is that the Bears are looking to interview him for their new OC job. This is an interesting one because there's not a lot about Carolina offensively that you felt good about. There just isn't, right? Like, it was his first time calling plays, didn't start off the season as a play caller, but I think the part that maybe scares some Bears fans in this situation and probably does put Thomas Brown possibly a little bit higher in the evaluation of this thing is the fact that Frank Wright hand selected him to be his OC means that Frank Wright has some sort of belief in him. Frank Wright, of course, having all of the attachments that come with Indy with Matt Eberflus. Thomas Brown seems like kind of a name that may move a little bit further up in the list, plus runs a system that Flus is very comfortable with on the offensive side, having somebody run. This one's a tough one for me, though, because like I said, there's nothing outside of that Green Bay game about the Carolina Panthers offense that looks good. But on the flip side of all of it, and as somebody who has watched the tape, because for me, I like to keep up with what the other quarterbacks are doing that the Bears could have taken in place of Justin Fields. So watched a ton of CJ Stroud, watched a ton of Bryce Young this year. All 22. I'm not watching the full game, right? I'm watching just the offensive side. I know what's going on the defensive side. Bryce never stood a chance. The play caller never stood a chance. That offensive line is bad. The running game is Chuba Hubbard. So, okay, all right. But like, what a bad offensive line. You have no wide receivers at all, pretty much. Adam Thielen. All right, cool. That was a cavalcade of bad. And when you have a situation like that, when you're sitting there and you're talking about, having a offense that's going to click, you have to have players in place that can also make plays. The Panthers didn't have enough of that. So maybe that is a defense for Thomas Brown when he took over, right? The Panthers are 0-6. Frank Wright gives him the play calling duties and basically says, it's your show, figure out how you want to do this. I guess he does come with some OCing experience because of that, but do you feel good about what he was able to bring to the table? It's almost impossible to judge, right? I can say this: the quarterback did not develop much under Thomas Brown, any different than the quarterback would have developed under Frank Wright because of the situation that he was in. I do think that Thomas Brown is an interesting candidate because of the fit with Flus. Not to say that I think he's going to go well here. He's also expected to interview for the Tennessee Titans head coaching job, though, on Thursday. So that means teams are seeing him with a high potential kind of situation here, right? Like, I think that it's just very interesting to me watching how you can judge Thomas Brown, right? It's very tough. And for me, I see the highs on one side where people are saying this guy could be a head coach in the NFL. I would assume that means he comes with a lot of intelligence. He comes with a lot of cachet. He comes with a lot of ability to get guys, to galvanize guys, move them in the right direction. But does he come with a lot of quarterback development? The answer is no. So for me, he's still far behind the rest in this bunch. But is he for Flus? That's the main question. Let me know how you guys feel about Thomas Brown in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you guys as well. And I think that's the part that maybe scares me a little bit, Because are we going to get the consolation prize higher? Are we going to get, there's no disrespect to Thomas Brown. It's just there's other guys that I believe are leaps and bounds ahead of him in experience, in ability, and developing quarterbacks. There are guys who are already in those positions that are doing that at the highest level. To me, this would feel like you went out and you got the cheap guy, the new guy. You went out and you're resetting the whole Getsy thing, which I guess, listen, like if you're going to do that, you're going to pick a new quarterback. Fine. All three of them are learning together. Don't expect to have a ton of time with a new quarterback, though. I also believe there's more talent here to utilize. Pairing him up with DJ Moore is going to make life a lot easier no matter what. So there's always that aspect of it. But does he run something that the Bears are looking to run? Because I think it's so many terms, right? We look at this OC search, and Courtney said this yesterday on the Chicago Bears podcast. Great episode. But we look in coaching terms, we look at how can you fix the quarterback position? What can you do for the quarterback? There's 10 other guys on that offense that need to know what the heck the offense is. You kept Semo in place, so you're going to need somebody that's going to fit in with him as well. But you got 10 other guys on that offense that have to figure out, okay, where am I supposed to be? What's the call? What's the terminology we need to use here? Those things are important when you're talking about building out an offense that's going to have success. And so for me, right, like the similarities are there. I see a scheme that I believe the Bears could run here. I feel like if you see Shane Waldron out there, if you see Greg Roman out there, if you see Clint Kubiak out there, and maybe Clint Kubiak coming up third on this list to me, the other guys should be behind him in my estimation of it. The other guys should be sitting in the back seat in my estimation of it, because those are the guys that have done it already. Those are the guys that have had success doing it, and those are the guys I'm most interested in personally on this one. I think on the other side of that as well, though, right, is it would feel like a consolation prize because Frank Reich made this decision. We know Matt Eberflus's respect for Frank Reich. We know his respect for what he is as an offensive play caller, which is fine. And if I can't get Frank, do I take the guy that Frank believed in? Do I take the guy? Am I going to listen to the advice of the guy that gave me my shot as a DC here in Indianapolis? Am I going to listen to him and when he's going to give this guy a glowing response? Somebody's going to take a dump on this guy, right? Like Frank Reich picked him. He's going to believe in him. Is he going to listen to the guy that gave him his chance and say, what is this guy? You know, he's going to call Frank. What is this guy? Is he the one that we should go with? And that message could ring louder than ever before. Now, what I will say is this, and what I do think is an interesting hitch in all of this. We had Greg Gabriel on today on the Chicago Bears podcast, and he talked about how GMs and the front offices are more involved in selecting coaching candidates than ever when it comes to helping coaches build out their staff. Matt Eberflus built out his first staff. Guess what? Both of those guys are gone. You got a running backs coach that's gone. You got a wide receivers coach that's gone. You got so many of these things here that felt like, oh, this makes sense. Oh, here he's building out. I don't feel confident in Matt Eberflus building out his staff. So is Ryan Poles going to be involved in this? Ryan Poles' voice in the room may be a little bit louder than Frank Reich's voice not in the room. That could be the saving grace for the Chicago Bears. If it was just my mentor, the guy that put me on, told me this, so I believe him, so I'm going to trust him in this situation. A lot of times trusting the guy and having the one thing that Greg Gabriel said, he said, coaches get tunnel vision. So they go with guys they know. They go with guys they're comfortable with. Frank Reich was comfortable with this guy, which could mean Matt Eberflus feels like, well, if he's comfortable, I'll be comfortable. That to me is the situations where we sit here and we look back at the most and go, he went and got his buddy. He went and got his friend. He went and got somebody that he knew. He went and got somebody that the guy told him to go get, right? Like, it doesn't change things for you in the long run. I think that's what's tough here with this situation. So Thomas Brown interviewing, to me, I love the fact that he's interviewing. Hope he gets the Titans head coaching job. He would not be my number one selection on the list for the Chicago Bears right now because I think there's still a lot of learning that he has to do as an OC. But I would love to know how you guys feel. Let me know in the comments below as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago Bear. Done. Peace.